Right, so today we're off to Skara Brae, aren't we?
Yeah.
At the roundabout, take the first exit to A965.
I was chatting to someone last night whose wife is an archaeologist, and he was saying it's been dumbed down a little bit. He weren't too impressed with it. He said there's lots of touch screens aimed at the 9-year-old.
Oh, right. Yeah, because I mean, when we went 2004,
Yeah.
Continue on A965.
we could actually go in the houses,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure you can even do that now.
No, they've got a mock-up one.
Oh, have they?
Created a mock-up one. That might be quite good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But we actually went in them, didn't we?
Yeah.
About 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah. There we go. We're talking down our video again.
Oh, we're not.
We should say we had a disaster at Skara Brae.
We haven't got there yet.
I know.
It's over disaster, have we?
Turn right onto B955.
What's coaches doing?
Handy place for it to stop, isn't it? Stones of Stonehenge there. Oh, this is quite a long way round, isn't it?
It is. So it looks like we're going to someone's front gate here.
Yeah. Skail House. Well, there is a house up there, isn't there?
I think it looks like it's a National Trust for Scotland house. It's
Okay.
got like a symbol.
Okay.
This is where we're going, isn't it? Here?
No.
No. Okay. Where are
No.
we going then?
Round to the right here.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Camper
Turn
van
left
parking.
onto
Yeah.
Trent Hill. Then take the first
Sorry?
right.
Didn't say anything.
What you did. Is this for Skara Brae then, or
Yeah,
is this for
I recognise the car park.
Okay.
No camper van parking.
We're going to go in here.
All right.
Know how much room we're going to get here. The parking spots here not really long enough for an 8.3 metre van, so parked a little bit sideways at the end there. Hopefully we won't get in the way.
No, just push this
Just push
one.
the door. You have
Yeah.
to do it manually. Yeah, I mean, the exhibition's quite interesting there. I mean, obviously, for all the things they've found. And I mean, you've got to remember that this is a reconstruction here. These people lived here 5,000 years ago.
Before Stonehenge.
Before Stonehenge, before the pyramids.
Saying it, they just suddenly found this village in 1850.
Yeah,
A storm.
yeah, storm washed the sand away. Don't think they had padlocks though.
It's cool in here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it would have been. I suppose they would have had a fire. Someone's got a demonstration going here, so I don't probably won't appreciate me filming them, but I'll
No.
have a listen.
In Orkney
Like beds here. Stone hearth. Tables. Those are the beds, weren't they, here? They would have had skins and soft furs in there. Lobster in the lobster pot. So these roofs here, this is a reconstruction, but these roofs were slate. They thought slate when they originally discovered it. The guy who dug it all out complained about the amount of stone he found on the floor, but it probably was slate roofs. So quite incredible. Obviously some sort of storehouse in there, wasn't it? Yeah. Quite amazing. And they would have had pots and things under there. Out into the light. Yeah, so this was a reconstruction of one of the houses, wasn't it? House number 7. Can you imagine it if it had slate roofs? Quite incredible. Soon we carry on this way. The sign says this walk will take you back in time 5,000 years to the village of Skara Brae. It's got, yeah, you've got little time things here, haven't they? First man in space, AD 61, and the first man on the moon. Telephone invented 1876. The American Declaration of Independence. Of course, you keep walking, don't you? Back in time. That's a good idea. Give you an idea how long ago we're talking about. Inca civilization, AD 1400.
Yeah.
And still we go on. The first crusade, AD 1095. What they said in bits I can remember of the little talk there is that, well, and the film, is that they said that they know a fair bit about what they ate, what they fished, what they cooked. There were wild berries here, there were vegetables and herbs and all sorts of things, and they could fish in the locks, and there was meat. So it was a very fertile area. So that's why they came here. So they know what they ate. They know where they lived. They know a little bit how they slept.
But we don't know what happened to them.
Well, they don't know what's happened to them. They don't know what language they spoke, why they made these strange objects, what the markings mean. I suppose they don't really know where they came from.
No.
And most of all, they don't know why they left.
No.
Because it's obviously an area you could sustain people. So was there a war or was there an invasion? That was 4,500 years ago. So
Yeah.
they lived here 500 years.
500 years, that's right.
Yeah.
But why did they go?
I'm still going back in time. Temple of Solomon, 962 BC. It says in the guidebook that Skara Brae was mentioned by Indiana Jones in the film. What was it? The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Stonehenge.
But here we are. We've reached Stonehenge.
2100 BC.
And still we go on. Again, 3,000 years before Christ.
Yes. This is one of the few places we know how they actually lived, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Stonehenge is the stones and...
Yeah. So we're now back at Skara Brae, so 3,100 years BC. And this is one of the few sites where we know where the Stone Age how the Stone Age people lived.
Yeah, I just said that.
Sorry. I'm not listening to you.
No, no.
Listening to the voices in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it says it's an extremely fragile site. Please keep to the path. Now, when we first came here, we were able to walk around the walls and everything. So here we are. It's obviously lower because the sand that surrounded the site is still up here. And these are all the little houses. These are the early houses apparently, built in two main phases, little known about the first, but further investigation would require demolition of the later houses. So the building in front of you is one of the earliest, Skara Brae. There's a similar plan to the later houses, except bed boxes are built into the wall rather than projected into the room. A little bit about the carvings, and there were carvings on the side of the bed box. These are the symbols we're talking about, and they had to put turf over them to try and preserve them because they were starting to crumble, being exposed to the elements. That is incredible, isn't it? That you're looking at a village, really, isn't it, where people lived 5,000 years ago. The guidebook says that the passages here were rather small, which tended to suggest that they may have been small themselves, but they said the skeleton, obviously the skeletons or whatever they found proved that they were about the same size as us. They were small, the passages, so that they would keep the warmth in. Now the stone walls were, well, they were dry stone walls, but they were packed with midden, which I think is rubbish, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. And so obviously to help to insulate it, and the doorways, and I'll look at the doorway in a minute, were necessarily small because that helped keep the warmth in. I suppose they had doors really, but we don't know. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, like I say, when I came here in 2004, we could get down and have a look inside. There's a workshop here, so it says it's the only building in the settlement which was not a house, had a central hearth, but it lacked beds and a dresser. So it's known as Structure 8, appears to have been a workshop for making stone tools and perhaps pottery, bone tools and wooden implements. Right.
It's down there. Oh,
sorry?
what they found's down there.
All right, I was just going to walk around the other side.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. I thought
Yeah.
might end up at the exit though.
No, I think we're all right. So you see the beds there, can't you? And the hearth. So this is about reusing the refuse. So these are the middens then, presumably, or the buildings and entrance passages were set into a mound of domestic refuse. Midden consisted of decomposed food waste, shells, bones, and similar to a compost heap. And it came from an early settlement nearby and was brought here in the first stage of building. The houses were entered from a partially underground passage.
Yes, that's there.
Yeah, all there. It was underground as well. But this is house one. It says it shows a typical rectangular plan. The Skara Brae house facing the entrance is the dresser where prize objects were stored. Hearth is in the centre and either side of the bed boxes. So the small tank set into the floor were for preparing fish bait. And those over there. And it says what makes Skara Brae so special is the presence of furniture in the houses. Because it was made of stone, the furniture has survived, allowing us to see how they organised their living space. It says the salt spray in, and the wind generally means there's less trees growing on Orkney, which obviously has helped preserve the places like this.
Must have been amazing when they first found this, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean, they were saying in the thing that they found skeletons in one of the
Yes, and
under
that
one of
one, the reconstruction one, and they said that it was...
Well, they wouldn't have found it in the reconstruction one. That was reconstruction of House 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, but under House 7.
Yeah.
You know, when they were excavating
Yeah,
it,
and it
they
was
found a skeleton of a 60-year-old woman and a 40-year-old woman. She was saying that's, you know, amazing because the average lifespan was 29.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't know why they were buried under the house. They think they must have been very important.
Matriarchs.
Yeah.
This is probably the easiest to see, isn't it? And the passage entrance there, and the hearth, and the dresser, and the beds. Wow. And all this was discovered by accident, really. They had a storm in 1850 and it washed the sand away. So they've done a lot of work to preserve it here by building this seawall. Yeah, they built this seawall in 1925 and 26 when the sea washed away most of the House 3.
Oh,
Obviously been exposed since 1850.
yeah.
A little bit about the discovery and excavation. So it lay buried under the sand for almost 4,500 years. And storms stripped the grass from the dunes. The Laird of Skail, William Watt, explored 4 of the houses and amassed a rich collection of objects. And the site owes its current presentation to the archaeologist Gordon Chard, who excavated here from 1928 to 1931. Been taken to state care, and Chard was keen to make sure it was well presented to the public. He was an Australian by birth. Most recent excavations took place in the 70s, led by David Clark. A little picture there of it exposed in 1850. Like the dresses here.
I know.
Very 20s.
Or the last time we came, but that looks like you used to come in through here
Yeah, I
somewhere.
think this was the original visitor centre.
That's right.
It's difficult now. I mean, obviously they've got to preserve the place. You can't have people walking around there. I'm not keen on all these sort of interactive displays and everything. I do prefer a nice guidebook I can read at my leisure. I'm sort of trying to get bits from it at the moment, but and I just like reading the signs and having a look in there. But it's an amazing place.
It is.
I mean, they're sort of guessing really about the community here, but they've thought it would have had important trading links with Ireland, the rest of Scotland.
50 to 100 people lived here.
Yeah. So it was quite an important place. Obviously you've got the Ring of Brodka and the Stennes. It's a nice beach. Yeah, this is House 3. Obviously a lot of washed away. Daft people putting coins in there. Not a well, you idiots. Entrance into the village, isn't it?
Yeah.
Skara Brae. Let's go along here. Yeah, so we're going to go to Skail House, home of the 7th Laird of Breckness, the man who discovered the Skara Brae. And here's the house. Very interesting entrance.
I've got a
You
staircase
go that
to
way.
ourselves.
I'll go this way. Nice flower display there. Little sunken garden. Looks like the Queen Mother visited. Guide was just saying that the Queen Mother sat there with a light behind her because it doesn't show the wrinkles so much. I mean, she was probably in her 90s then. There's William Graham Watt, the 7th Laird, discovered Skara Brae in 1850. This is his son. Oh no, beg your pardon, this is Lieutenant James Barry, son of the Orkney historian Reverend George Barry. So this apparently is Captain Cook's dinner set, basically. After his death, he made their first... after his death on the 3rd expedition, Captain Cook's ship made their first British landfall at Stromness on the 22nd of August 1780. So this is a 200th anniversary of the arrival of Captain Cook's discovery and resolution at Stromness. So this is the library. It says in 1829 Colonel Henry W. Scarth became the 11th Earl. He moved into Skail with his young family and set about modernising the house to create a comfortable modern house. So this is the drawing room. Nice big room. There's a piano forte.
The dining room, sure. I think this room must have seen a lot of history. I remember the dances and parties we had in it during the war.
This is Scarth's bedroom. Blimey, I think we had a bath like that.
Yeah.
That would be in Telscombe Way, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of our favourite rooms because it's so homely and very personal. Kathleen's bedroom is largely unchanged since she lived here and is full of treasured possessions. It's Japanese silk paintings, ornaments, family photographs, postcards from around the world. Wardrobe contains outfits for every occasion. Yeah. It's good, isn't it? An early ideal home from December 1974. Here we are back at Magnus Cathedral, St Magnus Cathedral. Now this is the bishop's bedroom.
I think it's all about him over there.
Okay. A little bit about the bishop here. He was appointed the Bishop of Orkney and Shetland, served from 1615 to 1638. As a bishop, he courted with controversy. He's written that he was lenient with witchcraft, was summoned for curling on the ice on the Sabbath. Oh, he was a bit of a risky character, wasn't he? Yeah, Bishop Graham's later years in Orkney proved to be quite difficult. Death of his wife in 1633 and the departure of his son David came on the back of one of the series of bad harvests which affected Orkney from time to time. The harvest of 1633 was very poor, with gales and cold weather destroying the corn before it ripened. He petitioned the Privy Council for help, writing, "Multitudes die in the open fields, and there's none to bury them. The picture of death is seen in the faces of the many. Some devour seaware, some eat dog, dogs, some steal fowls, so great is the famine that the people of mean estate have nothing, and these of greater rank have nothing they can spare.
1 in 5 has
Died. Says that history in the making. Skail House sits in one of the largest private estates in Orkney, established by Bishop George Graham in the 1620s. Since that time, each laird has played a part in the history. We found a medieval cemetery when trenches were dug for drainage work in 1996. At least 27 skeletons are identified, 12 adults and 15 juveniles, from 1,000 to 600 years ago. A man in the cyst. Yeah. Died during the time of the Picts. A little bit about the discovery of Skara Brae here. Official guide to Skara Brae. And the excavations of Professor V. Gordon Child. And William George Thomas Watt. First excavated in 1881. Old family tree on the wall here. Some family mementos. Obviously they went to Eton. Yeah, so there's a lot of information here about Skara Brae and the excavations that they had here of Professor V. Gordon Child. And this is the Broch of Borwick at Sandwick, found further south of Skail House. They found a broch wall and combs, spindle whorls and pottery, and a jawbone. Also found lots of Viking graves as well, and this is on Westness, which is further north of here. Viking age burial came to light on land owned by Colonel Henry William Scarth. The 11th Earl. Is the end of October. The hole was being dug for a dead cow, but to the farmers were surprised they found a pair of Norse oval brooches, elaborate Celtic brooch pin, and some human bones. A settlement under the sand, Norse longhouse. Oh, God, nearly. Wakisashi. I can't say that. Wakisashi and a katana, Japanese swords. And a Shinto blade there as well. Number 4. The inevitable gift shop. We had the tour with us all the time. We were fighting to get in different rooms before them.
I thought I got ahead and then you stayed behind.
I think we should have just joined the tour, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Never mind. No, I enjoyed that. Really enjoyed it.
Good.
Fantastic, really. Well worth a visit if you're ever on Orkney. Have a look at the Skara Brae. And that's the visitor centre, and you've got the reconstructed house there. It's just a fantastic place to visit. So much history. I mean, it just got an inkling really there of this sort of history. You know, the Vikings were here, and
Yep.
prehistoric people were here.
Yep. Very interesting.
Yeah, too close, puppy. It's a long, long way down there. Wow. It's like slate, isn't it?